Hello, this is Noreen from Joy of Cards, and we're going to be making another Christmas card. Yay! And this is really pretty. It does some sponging techniques, makes it look like, it's really hard, but it's super easy. And I do have all my materials if you want to capture this real quick. And we have our materials. We're going to be using stamps from So Many Stars, Merry Moose, Winter Woods. We're going to use dies from Ornate Frames, Into the Woods. We are going to use 1.5 circle punch. We're going to use stamp pads. The stamp pad is Night of Navy. That's the color. The paper is going to be the Shimmer White Night of Navy. Feels like Frost Designer Series paper. And then some embellishes are going to be the snowflake sequins and the star. So this one's really cool. So I'll kind of make it as we go here. So I have cut a Night of Navy in the 5.5 by 8.5, scored it, folded it. That's easy. And then we've got our Designer Series paper here, Feels Like Frost. And we're going to cut this in a 5.25 by 4 inch. And then using our lovely little silicone thing here from Stampin' Up. I love this thing. This is great because you can tape on it and nothing will stick. So you're not, taping on your glass or anything and getting everything all sticky and stuff. So this is a must. And then we're going to line this up in the middle like so. Real super easy. Then we're going to take the shimmer white paper, and this is great for using anything with ink because this shimmer paper really does something kind of special to everything here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a piece of scratch paper, and I'm going to use one of these sponges. Now we have these sponges, and what you do is they're going to be a circle, and you're going to cut them into 6 little pieces so you can use a lot for just one piece of sponge. And then these totally wash out. They might be a little tiny bit stained, but these are great. So talk about cheap. I just bought some of those blending brushes, and they are expensive. They hold on to the ink. And you know what? This cheapy little sponge, and this is part number 141337. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Anyway, so we're going to get these out. And then and I went ahead and I cut on just a piece of scratch paper from the 1.5 circle punch, just a circle. And you can see I've used this a lot of times. I've made about 12 of these cards, so I'd be all in practice by the time I did the video. But I'm going to take this, and we're going to create this moon here. So we're going to line this up on our shimmer white paper right in the upper right-hand corner, leaving some space around it. And just use some removable tape, like just the cheapy stuff from Michael's. And then you're going to take this sponge on the Night of Navy, get it all good here, and we're going to sponge this card, but we're going to leave the middle white. So we're going to go ahead and sponge it up. And we're going to use circular motions. We're going to really get that in. I think you want to get it darker more at the outside than the inside. So circular motions. And then also ink it up real good and get the edge. And this will make a good contrast when you put it up against the silver paper there. We'll ink that up really good. Really good, really good, really good. And this is something that you definitely are going to get your hands dirty. And if you know anything about ink gets pretty evil, It will get you. So if you have anything on your hands right now, this would be the best time to go ahead and wash your hands or get a diaper wipe. And then, of course, when you're done with this, close that box. I don't know how many times I have left that box open and put something on top of it and then ink something like my paper or something. Oh, so just make sure you close it up. You get a diaper wipe and wipe your hands really, really good and make sure that's off of you, because you'll put your fingerprint on something white for sure. That's just Murphy's Law. So just go ahead and get the ink off your hands. They're really good. Okay, then we're going to go ahead. I'll use my little pickup tool here and take that circle off. Okay, and now that's trash. So you notice you got a nice moon here and a big wide open space. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use our Stamparatus here, and we're going to stamp the trees. Now we're going to start with the cluster of trees, and then we're going to do the big tree. So on the Stamparatus, I've actually lined this all up because I've done a bunch. And I put the cluster of trees up here, and then I put the large tree right here. And then on the back sides, I have the sentiments that we'll do in a minute. And then, of course, I've also designated on my pad here where I should line up the card. So I put it here to here. And then I'm going to take my Night and Navy again, which I just closed. That's okay. And then we're going to ink up that cluster of trees. And then, believe it or not, we're going to take a piece of scratch. We're going to take a layer of it off. And that will make it so it looks a little lighter. So it looks a little further behind the main tree. And like that. That's great. And then I've already, like I said, pre-lined up everything on the big tree here and get that all inked up. Oh, before you do that, you got to move your magnets out of the way so they get a good contact. I'll move those over there, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to ink that tree. And I'm not going to just ink it once, I'm going to ink it at least twice. Let's see what number 2 looks like. Okay. And that looks pretty darn good. So I'm going to take this out. That looks great. Now I've already pre-lined up the sentiment, so I'm going to take my plate here and turn it around for the next sentiments. There's 2, so I've got 2 here. And then I'll put this to the side. This is great if you're going to be making, because if they're Christmas cards, you're going to probably make more than one. So this would be great to line this all up, mark your grids here, and then cut all your pieces, make an assembly line, and just, totally kick these out. This would be really fast and easy. So we've got our moon and our trees, and next we're going to get our little frame here. Get back with this. I forgot this was next. And then we are going to line up piece. And piece I lined up right here. So I'm going to take this little framelit that I already die cutted from I die cutted from the Ornate frames. I've got it lined up here. And these little magnets love to come together, so watch out. I'm going to line that up there. I'm going to ink my piece. I already have it lined up. And look, it's not so dark here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this again. And I'm going to pop. So I've got a really nice little dark piece. And I'm trying not to touch it because usually in between inking, I wash my hands, and unfortunately I can't do that in the middle of a video. So we got our piece there. Now we can put this to the side. I'll put this here. Put this to the side. Close the ink box because I know I'm going to put my finger in it or put anything white into it. So then I'm going to take this and I'm going to affix it to the card. So just nail it up, put it in the middle on top here. Then I'm going to get some dimensionals. I'm going to get 2 dimensionals and put it on that little frame we just inked piece onto. Take that off. And we're going to put it right here. And then I'm going to jump ahead. Actually, no. I'll go ahead and let's go ahead and put the star on. So I'm going to put the star on top. Make sure that you grab that glue dot underneath, because if you don't, it won't stick. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the inside of the card next. And then at the end, we're going to glue these little sequins on, but I want to do that last. So inside of the card, what I've decided to do is just when I was cutting this designer series paper, this silver with the white dots on there, you cut off a big chunk of it, and that's just a waste. So I'm going to put it inside the card. So let's just take that piece, and this is like about 3/4 of an inch by 5.5, and line it up on the bottom here. Oops. Of course, it's snail, so you can pull it up if you don't have it lined up right. And you do that. And then I'm going to die cut the outline of the Christmas tree from Winter Woods, and get my Stamparatus again. Here, move this out of the way. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in the other sentiment. I'm going to go ahead and remove this because I don't need it anymore. And this one I kind of pre-lined up as well to be about, I believe, right here. And I'll put some magnets on there. Let's see if that works. Yep. And I'm going to open the Night of Navy ink once more. And I'm going to ink the sentiment. And get that right on there. And whoops, see, it didn't get all the S on there, so I'm going to re-ink it again since you're using the Stamparatus. Not a problem. You can make it nice and dark. Well, I'm even going to do it again. Maybe my magnet's a little close. And got a nice, good stamp on there, so it's nice and dark. And we're going to move this out. And I'm going to take our card, and I'll just, and this is that Feels Like Frost as well, so it's got a nice shimmer to it. Go ahead and snail it again. Put it just above my piece. And then the last little thing that I'm going to do is I did die cut and stamp a little pine cone from Winter Woods as well. And just snail that and put it on there. Okay. That's the inside of the card. And then the outside of the card is these little sequins. They're called snowflake sequins. And I'm going to go ahead and put them out on my glass top here. I did originally put them on my little awesome silicone pad, which is great for glue and tape and all that. But when it comes to that sequence, it's like a staticky effect. And yeah, not so fun. So I've got that. And then I'm going to grab, hopefully, yep, my little pickup tool here. Okay, and the fine tip glue. This stuff is magical. And it's awesome because you just undo the cap here, and there's a big pin inside. And then when you put it back in, you just put it back in the hole. It goes all the way in, and then you screw it down. So it keeps it from clogging, because I have this other glue, won't mention its name, and it's a nightmare because this tip falls off. It's constantly clogged. The pins have to be a certain kind of pin just so they don't rust. This is terrible. This is magical, and this is a Stampin' Up! 138309. If you're going to get anything, get this glue and get the silicone pad, because together they're the best. I mean, whether you're doing card making or scrapbooking, these are delightful. So anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to apply these little sequins like I have on the card over here. The best way I found it was to put out all the sequins onto like a glass pad that I've got here. And then you're going to take, since it's fine tip glue, you're going to take and you're going to put a dot here and a dot here, dot here, dot here, dot here. And then I'm going to take the pickup tool. And Stampin' Up's pickup tool is nice because I had one that I bought at like Michael's and I never got it. It's like, what does this thing do? Because the little pickup, little like Play-Doh stuff at the end was all dried up and it was terrible. So I picked up the big snowflake and I put it here. I'm going to just grab it with my fingernail, even turn this around and with the pointy part and kind of push it down. Then I'll grab another one. Let's see. Some of these, when they come, they're kind of a little staticky. So oftentimes there'll be like 2 or 3 that are still like on top of each other. So just make sure you're just grabbing the one. And then I'll grab this one over here. I have a feeling this is more than one. Yep. And I'll grab this one over here. And, oh, there was another one on there. And finally, this one over there. So, there you go. That's it. And these are quick and easy. And like I said, if you do an assembly line with them, you can get a whole bunch of cards done in a really short period of time. They look really neat. And feel free to copy or case me or whatever you want to do because everybody does it. And if you want to go on my Stampin' Up site, it's here's my Stampin' Up information, and my host code for October is there on the bottom. If it's not October anymore, then that's fine. You can still go on. But if you place an order for under $150, use the host code. If you don't, if you place an order over $150, don't use the host code because you'll get product for free. So that's really neat. But here you go. And if you like my video, please like it and come back. And I should be posting like a few times a week, probably the same day, same time. So, but it was fun. Yay. Thank you. Bye.